I had a couple of things. Um, Lowell flew out, and this past year's been a little rough. I had some stuff happen. I was working with a company the past year and a half and kind of got screwed over by them pretty bad. Um, Lost quite a bit of money and kind of got thrown off the deep end and just had to try to figure it out. And with no real experience, I kind of had to just start from scratch, start my own company, like that kind of stuff. And I didn't even come out like just just even. It wasn't like, okay, I quit. Like I'm coming out just even. Came out negative. Like I was like owed a good couple $1,000s. And it had been hard. And then like my wife and I are expecting, like we had to have a baby on the way, and like pregnancy is already hard enough. And then having to worry constantly about finances was a big thing. And then my family got hit pretty hard by 2008, and everything that had happened. So I think that had kind of formed some pretty deep-seated wounds. And then like my wife growing up, like her mom didn't handle money super well. And so she had never really known a ton of financial stability. And so it had been a big stressor for us for a long time. And it was just something we could never really get away from. And it became this deep-seated lie of like, I wasn't worthy of having stability. Like I wasn't worthy of having God provide for me. I wasn't worthy of receiving provision like that, or of not having to worry or having peace of mind like that. And so when I was praying, my dad's side of my family has this place up in Maine, and that was my like safe spot. So I was sitting on the deck in this Adirondack chair, and Jesus sitting next to me, and it felt like it was like a weighted blanket like over my shoulders, and I took it off and gave it to him, and it's like he just had it in his hands, and it was like a magician like flash trick, like just like spontaneously combusted, and they just kind of sat back and just chilling in the chair like it was nothing. And he's like, all right, let's get back to talking. And Lowell like asked the question of like, what does he call you? And my wife a couple years ago had this big thing in the Lord. Like she can be pretty pessimistic, and like had stuff happen where she struggles to dream and to have hope. And so God had specifically told her, like, your new name is Hope. And I never really had anything like that happen. And so the past couple months I've been thinking about like, God, do you have a new name for me? Is there something that you call me? And the name Charlie means free man. And I felt like he was saying, he's like, I don't have a new name for you, but I want you to walk in the true identity that I created for you. And I was talking to Lowell about it, and he was like, what God has called you, with the identity that he's given you, is also directly related to your calling and who you're supposed to be for other people. And so Lowell, being Braveheart, like he was talking about, he's called to coach men to fight. My wife's new name being Hope, like she's called to bring hope to people who can't find it in situations. And for like my name being Free Man, like I'm called to free men, and to walk as one who is free from that. So there's been a lot of really like stepping out and like consciously having to choose faith, to choose to give that back up to him. And I think Lowell brought me through this the first time a couple months ago, and I've had to do this again probably 6 or 7 times since then, and have to consciously give that back to him and remind myself that no, that like it's gone. Similar like what Gabe was saying, it's like I already took that, like it's already gone. You don't have that anymore. So it's definitely a process, but it's been, even since doing this the first time, the amount of freedom I've experienced has been crazy. Like these past couple of months, my relationship with the Lord has been in a way it hasn't been in a long time. Just simply not having to have that constantly weighing on me. So yeah, the stuff works. God does things.